There's the church we've been in earlier on. So we're circling around the castle now, and let's make the finishing move now. So guys, back where we started after about 4 hours of walking. So we finished now the flight of the Falcon, and now we are going up to the castle. We're getting there, people. We're quite near now to the Castle of Falkenstein. And here it is. Door is open, it's good for us. I just saw a falcon a few moments ago. So let's have a look. We are going in now. So where to start? So the Castle Falkenstein was built in the 11th century. It was captured during the 30-year war by the people from Sweden. It was destroyed then, but then later on rebuilt as a Renaissance castle. But then in the 18th century, people said, well, the times of castles is over. So they took most of the stone of the castle and used it to rebuild houses in the town down there. So there was not much left, but only in recent years, in recent time, it was rebuilt. There is now an association looking after the castle, and they try to get it back to the original state. And why we have this big boat in here, this is a replica of a galère. I don't know if this is also the right English word for it, but I read that people from this area, if they had to be punished, they were sent away on those ships. They would have to row up and down on the water, the river, the Danube probably, and this was their punishment. That this is a model of those kind of ships. Here you see the oars coming out of the ship. Looks a wee bit like a Viking ship, but not as graceful, of course. So let's go up. Let's see what we find here, how it looks like. It was made by a school about 10 years ago. That's crazy. People sitting there using the oars. Okay, I'll have a read here and then I can give you a bit more information. So I learned a little bit about this galley. It's the English word is galley for it, and a galère. It was horrible. So the ship itself is a warship. It was 50 meters long. There were up to 250 people on the ship, but about 150 were slaves. Yeah, these were people who murdered somebody, so murderers, thieves, but also people who couldn't pay their debts or were did not believe in the right faith, basically. Those slaves were not allowed to wear any clothes. Yeah, just the smallest bit of clothes. They were not allowed to wash. They only had this square meter for themselves constantly for just the whole day. There were no space for them to sleep or to eat. They only got a bit of food. They had to shave off their hair, and only those who were war slaves taken during the war, they were allowed to keep a bit of hair so they could see the difference between the proper slaves and like the war slaves, so the difference between those kind of slaves. And they basically just died as quickly as they came onto the boat. They were just thrown into the water and that's it. So this is horrible, horrible history. But it is history, it happened, so we can't change that. We can only do it bad in the future. I hope we don't have any slaves anymore here. And they had to row about 10 hours every single day without a break. So this was now the first courtyard, and this is now the second courtyard, which is the older one. The first one was only built in the 16th century, this one goes far back. So let's have a look. And there's another information I haven't told you yet, because we are quite near to the border of two other countries. So into this direction there is the Czech Republic, and in this direction there is Slovakia. So it doesn't take much longer to cross the borders. We won't do it today because we don't have enough time. We need time for this one here, but we might do it in the future. The wind is so strong now I even lost my sunglasses. Horrible. I feel like I'm in Scotland, walking on cliffs. So this here, this was now the main entrance into the castle. There was an arch, and that's the real entrance from the 11th century. Let's get out of the wind and let's get into the castle vaults. So we're going downstairs now. This is the downstairs part of the castle. It was originally made for the servants. Up to 30 people stayed down here, stayed, lived, worked. The steps are still 15th century. And there seems to be a little museum inside that shows us a bit of what they found here in this area. Unfortunately the door is closed, so I can't get in. But there seems to be a few cabinets there with some stuff in it. And there's an old dining table there. It's not a very big room for up to 30 people, so don't want to be a servant in those times. So this here is now the heart of the Castle of Falkenstein. This here was a 3-story tower with the Great Hall in it. So there's not much left of the 3 stories, but the lowest part here was the Hall of the Knights, which was preserved for the family of the lord of the castle. It was not heated up, so they never used this part down here in the winter. And up on the better part or higher part of the tower here, they had proper fireplaces, but this was mainly the places they really used. And you see those Gothic arches here. It was later converted into a chapel. So this here was the Great Hall, the Hall of the Knights, and a chapel. So this here must still be part of the Great Hall. It's going down deep and open there in the middle. So maybe it was connected, or there was a corner in it or something like that. That's fantastic. I'm totally in for it. Except for the wind. I don't need the wind. So we're going now into the storage rooms. They could have also been used as a jail. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Looks like we cells. Well, I don't want to be locked up here. This is a natural stone, like a cave. Original cave underneath the castle. So, and there's another one. Oh my god. No, you really don't want to live in the medieval ages. I would not prefer this kind of housing for myself. Let's go. I just read a little bit about the Anabaptist movement of the 16th century. It seems that a few of the leaders, they were captured in here and they stayed there for the rest of their lives. Well, thank you, but no thank you. Out in the wind again, following the next track. There was probably a little room in here. Looks cool with the older green on it. And let's see where this leads us to. So in a moment now we're coming to the oldest part of the Castle of Falkenstein, to the battlements and part of an old Roman wall. Yeah, it was integrated into the outer walls after the Roman times. Here you see a gorgeous view into the valley, one side, and the green here on the other side. Well, I suggest let's go into the oldest part now. Yeah, it all looks a wee bit old, but no wonder if it's really that old. And we have a lovely view here of the upper part of the tower, which we can't get into it. Doesn't matter, it still looks cool. Oh, lovely view now also onto the other side of the valley. Austrian flag up there, red, white, red. There seems to be another room but closed off because it's too dangerous to get in. So I think we're coming closer to the end of it, but there is still a little space down there to explore, so I'll show you in a moment. So let's walk down here. We definitely have a good view of the tower and the falcon. Yay! Falkenstein for the falcons. Here we go. So this is the third courtyard, and this was the tournament space. So here the knights had the tournaments, high guests were received here, they had festivals here, even weddings, and it looks just brilliant. If this damn wind would be that cold and that strong. Let's have another look up there to the tower. Another good view now from the tower and the old Roman fortress. So here we had a defense tower, not much left of it, and a secret window into a secret room. For what? Nobody knows. One more little look around for you. There's now Falkenstein just underneath us. And here, one last look into the tournament space. So guys, it's us. I'm back in the car. It's so damn hot in the car. It's so windy outside. So nothing is really right, but doesn't matter, yeah. We had a fantastic walk here, the big flight of the falcon. Now we've been into the Castle Falkenstein. We've seen a few falcons, we've seen a few deer. I saw a hare, the wild rabbits, yeah. We've seen a few tails, we've seen beautiful vineyards. So it was a perfect day, and with a bit of luck, I won't be in heavy traffic when I go down south on the Südosttangente, which means the M8 motorway in Glasgow South. Yeah. So try to just drive around it a bit. Yeah, let's see. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, the tour here, and I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.